What up guys, it's your boy Nathan back at it again with another mod. Sorry I haven't been posting a lot, just been super busy with life and a lot of things have been going on, so I just needed to step away for a second. But you know, I'm gonna try to be more consistent with my videos now that I've got everything figured out and have a more set schedule. So today we're actually gonna be doing a little mod for the M3. So the M3 is super nice, right? I really like the power delivery of the car, but one thing that I'm not a super huge fan of is the actual exhaust tone itself. So I had an F80 before and it was the same too. Just the stock factory sound just didn't sound as good, but with my F80 I ended up getting a mid-pipe with the Remus exhaust, right? And that made the car sound so much better. So for me at least, this car sounds kind of muted in my personal opinion. So I don't want to go all out yet and get a mid-pipe for this car as of right now, due to the fact that you do have to cut the mid-pipe, and that's something that I just don't want to do right now. So a solution that I thought of during the meantime is to actually just get a valve controller. So if you guys aren't sure what that is, it's essentially the M3 actually has valves that open or closes depending on the RPM that you are in, and especially during freeway driving where you're in the higher RPM, the actual valve actually shuts off a little bit, so that way it doesn't produce any droning. And because of this, you lose a lot of the sound, right? And what a valve controller actually does is essentially allows you to either control if you want it open or you want it closed. So there's many benefits to it, especially if you're driving through a neighborhood at night and you just don't want to be very obnoxious. You can actually press a button and it'll close down the valves, right? And it'll be super silent. And if you want to hear a little bit more of the exhaust notes, you could press it and it will stay fully open. So what I actually got was, I got the GC Performance VSC-2 valve controller, and here it is. So my default setting is open and my activated setting is closed. What that means is when I start the car, it's actually going to go to its default setting, which is going to be always open, and by activating the valve button is actually going to close it down, so that way it'll be completely stock and quiet. So I'm going to show you guys what is in the kit, and it should be relatively straightforward to add onto the car. So as you can see, it comes with two buttons, or two remotes, and it just comes with a bypass, right? Bypass control right here that will essentially let you control the actual valve itself. I'll go ahead and give you guys a sound clip of what it sounds like with, you know, cold start and a few revs, and then we could compare it before and after. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is essentially, it really depends on if your car is lowered or not. My car is lowered, so it's actually a little bit harder to just get underneath the rear bumper and access the valve controller, so I actually have to jack up my car just a little bit. If your car's not lowered, you could easily do it just from the rear, but if your car is lowered, then yeah, you definitely should jack it up just a little bit, just so you have more room to work with. You could probably get away with not lowering it, because let me show you, or not jacking it up, but as you can see, it's right here. So the valve controllers are actually just right here, right? It's not that far away, but I kind of want to mount you should mount the valve controller further away, or not actually on the exhaust, because it actually vibrates a lot. That's what a lot of people do, and it could cause issues. You want to actually mount it on the actual frame itself. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that. If you guys don't already have a jack pad, definitely get one of these jack pads. These are what the BMW uses. Let me go ahead and show you guys, because underneath the car there's these little jack pad points right here that these will essentially sit in, and it will help you pretty much jack up your car, right? If you guys don't have these and you guys just jack this point up with the jack, it could damage this, and it's just a pain in the butt to have to just, you know, completely waste this and spend more money buying a replacement part. So yeah, just go ahead and get one of these. These are super cheap. It's definitely going to be useful if you work on your M a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and jack up the car, and I'll show you guys how to put on the valve controller. Alright guys, so here's everything laid out. Hopefully you guys can see, and the sun's not too bright or whatnot. Here's the modules. So the shorter end is actually going to be the one that goes on the driver's side, and the longer end is going to be the one that goes on the passenger side. And all you really need is, for me, I'm going to mount it away from the exhaust. So I'm using a torque socket right here. That's an E14, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where I'm actually going to mount it. So if we go underneath the car, right, so normally what people do is they actually mount it onto the actual the valve actuator right here, and it actually causes it to get damaged due to it having vibrations, right, because of the exhaust. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to mount it up here away from the actual exhaust, so there's no vibrations and whatnot. And from there we just essentially just disconnect the valve controller, hook it into one of the ends from the actual controller, the new controller itself, and then from the controller into here, and then we'll run it across the heat shield right here to the other end, and then we'll repeat the same process. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, now that we have the valve controller mounted, right, as you guys can see, it's just pretty much tucked up right here, right? It's not going to go anywhere. What we want to do is go ahead and remove this right here. Can be a little tricky if you guys are wearing gloves, so it could be a little hard to remove. I'm gonna actually just remove my gloves real quick. There you go. So what you want to do is go ahead and take this end and connect it onto this end of the control right here, right? So this should slide in perfectly fine. Clip-ins, yep. And take the one with the silver lining right here, go ahead and push that in. So this will go ahead and set this, pretty much connect this actuator up. And all we need to do now is take this one, the longer end, and I like to just, you could remove the heat shield right here if you want to, but for me I think it's just easier if we just kind of tuck it in the back right here, and just, let me see, is there any opening? I'll see. So there is an opening over here, so we could just, there's two ways we could go about it. We can run it right here, or we could go to the front. I'm just gonna go ahead and run it back here, and it should, if we just keep pushing it over, it should eventually get onto the other side, and we could just pull on it and it will bring it on the other side for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and like this, making sure that everything's in. Just be cautious, don't like tug on anything, like just take it easy, slow, and then it should be fine. Let me go ahead and push this onto the other side, and I'll show you where it comes out, okay? So as you guys can see, there is actually a little hole right here that you can essentially just stick your finger in and kind of pull on the actual relay itself, and it will essentially drop down, and from there you could just continue to push it out on this side, right, as you can see here. And from here we just pull on it, and it will give us enough slack just to remove this one. Let me just put this down real quick and take out my gloves. There you go. And once that is off, same procedure goes, right? We take this one, plug it into this one. Which way does it go? What? Okay, cool. And take this one and plug it in here. And at this point, we're essentially done. We could just make sure that, you know, we can zip tie them up if you guys want to. It's totally up to you. I don't think it's really gonna scrape, in my honest opinion. My car isn't. I've never bottomed out on my car, so we don't have to worry about that. So just tuck the rest of this in, and we should be good. And from there, it's pretty much done. Let's go ahead and lower the car back down and show you guys what it sounds like now. So the cool thing about all this is that you technically don't really need to have your remote to actually activate the settings. You can actually link it up to your Homelink yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that. And if your Homelink are already programmed, then you're definitely going to need to reset them. And the only downside is that you can't just reset a specific button. You have to reset all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys how to do the reset just in case, and then show you guys how to program it. Okay, so I'm gonna put the GoPro down real quick. All right, so in order for you to reset the Homelink, you essentially need to press button 1 and button 3 for approximately 10-15 seconds, and the lights should start blinking. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. You see there's an orange light, hopefully you guys can see it, and once it starts blinking, then you can let it go. There you go, it starts blinking green. Just let it go. That means everything is fully reset. So you can go ahead and now set it by holding whichever button you want at the same time with the button you want on your actual remote. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and set the middle to be closed. So I'm gonna press down the middle one, hold it, and press this one at the same time, and there you go, it turns green. That means that it's activated, right? And for me, I'm gonna do the same for the open. Is gonna be on the right hand side, the third button. So I'm gonna go ahead and press it, and press this open button, and there you go. There you guys go. So it's pretty straightforward to setting up the valve controller. I suggest if you guys get one to install it yourself, and you know, now with the control set up, I can actually just control everything from inside of the car, so it just makes it a lot easier not having to have the button around. And definitely, you know, it's gonna be more useful. You know, I could actually have full control of my actuators now whenever I want to. And yeah, other than that, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You know, it just motivates me to even do more content, push out more content for you guys. And hopefully everything goes well with this car, and I do have plans for this car as well as the S2K. So see you guys then. Peace.